Hey, it's me again. It's July 10th and I'm having some fun just getting some practice with this new equipment that I've got, and obviously you can tell where I am, and I thought I'd give you a little preview about one of the survival stories from the swimming pool, because that survival story is one that took place in the water at Elephant Butte Lake when I was 18 years old. We were out boating. There were 6 of us in the boat in March of whatever year that was, and the wind came up real suddenly, which, you know, if you live in El Paso or that area, it can come up very hard, very badly. In fact, you may have heard about that big accident in the Ozarks where a boat capsized and a whole bunch of people were killed because of the high waves caused by the high wind. Well, we had that situation with a very, very high wind come up, and we were in the middle of Elephant Butte Lake. The waves got to be about 4 feet high, and this boat was one of those that had the front not real pointy, but it had two, double hull, not a tri-hull, but a dual hull. So the front was kind of low to the water. And anyway, there was my mom and my dad and my brother and another couple that were friends of my parents, and we started heading into the waves to get to the other side. Well, that didn't work, and the waves came over into the boat, and the boat started to go under the water. So we all scrambled to get either life jackets or to get the seat cushions to hold on to. And anyway, it turns out that we were probably one of 2 or 3 boats on the entire lake. We all got blown away from the original boat, although I kind of stayed and held on to it. Everyone else was getting blown away by the wind, drifting away from the boat. And obviously we all thought, well, this is going to be the end. We're not going to make it. And my brother, Robbie, lost grip of the boat and started to drift away and go under. So I had one of those life decisions to make. Do I stay on the boat and save myself and live with not jumping in to get Robbie, or do I risk my life and go in and swim over to where he was, grab him, and bring him back to the boat, which is what I did. Obviously, ultimately, we got saved by the only other boat that we heard of that was on the lake, which was a sailboat. Came and they saw something floating in the water in the distance. Because it was a sailboat, it could handle the rough weather, and they came and rescued all of us. And obviously it made big news in the paper and stuff like that. All 6 of us were rescued, but that was one of 10 or 12 near-death experiences that I had. That was one where I really had to make a life or death decision related to saving a family member, which was my brother Robbie, which I did. And obviously I'm glad I did, because we both survived that. But that's one of the survival stories, and it's a little more than a preview, which is what I was planning. But anyway, that's the kind of thing, again, people have said, my gosh, you are actually prone. You've had all these things happen, which is true, I have. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of share them. So I'm going to let you go now. I think that's pretty much the main part of this story. I may supplement it with some other information. I'll put it in a playlist, so there'll be a section for all of the survival stories, and then there'll be a playlist for each survival story if there's more than one video. So look forward to you having a chance to look at that, and be safe around the water, and I'm gonna go get some exercise now. Hey, I forgot to tell you, I remembered it when I was taking my little swim. We were actually in the water in Elephant Butte Lake about 30 to 45 minutes before that sailboat saw us and found us. And it was cold. It was in March, so you can imagine how cold the water was, and with the heavy, heavy wind, it was very cold. But that was a pretty rough 30 to 45 minutes that we had. Hey, it's me again, and I forgot to tell you something else. Probably one of the worst things about the boating accident, or the Elephant Butte near drowning situation, was, if you remember, I told you the waves were about 4 feet high, and they were about 4 feet high the whole time we were in there. Well, what I failed to tell you was that every couple of seconds, the water from the waves was going over our head. So it was kind of like surviving like this. And then in a few more seconds, down again for another wave going over our head constantly. So that was one of the really rough parts, and it was really cold. And I also forgot to mention it was so cold, you know, we got rescued by ambulances and had these blankets and all that kind of stuff, and a couple of the people their injuries were cold related from being in that freezing weather in March. Anyway, that was an interesting experience.